Hey, what's going on? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. I hope you're having an awesome day. I am your host, G-Ball, and today we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of awesome knives that you didn't know were back in stock. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome to G-Ball Vision. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what knives and gear you are carrying on you today. We're going to kick the video off with the Vosteed Naga. Now, I have about 10 knives for you today, and you're not going to want to miss the last couple. The Vosteed Naga here comes in just under $140, and it has expanded on this newest release here. There's about 8 or 9 different versions available now. We are looking at 3.5 inches of S35VN on that clip point blade. They have stonewash versions and they have coated versions. A dual set of jimping here on the spine, which is a really nice touch. We have a textured fuller here and thumb studs for the deployment. Nice sharpening choil / 50/50 area. We have some unique micarta. There's some that are a little louder like this, and then they have some that are a little softer or more standard, if you will. Steel liners and a couple of standoffs here, and then a deep carry wire pocket clip that is going to be left-hand friendly. Now, the cherry on top of this sundae is going to be the button top liner lock that Vosteed does. Not only is it a fun and fidgety lock because you can use the button to disengage and even open the knife, but the lock itself is a very robust and dependable locking system. So you get the best of both worlds in a sense. If you're someone who likes unique designs and unique locks, the Naga will certainly fit the bill. Next, we have one coming in from Couto, and this is the Brata. These are about $265. They have a couple of different versions. This knife is fantastic. I can't tell you how much I love this knife right here. It is an amazing size. We have almost 3.9 inches of M390, a beautiful hand satin finish on this particular one, coming in at almost 9 inches, 8.9 inches. So this is a great size. We have a mini fuller and thumb stud combo along with a front and rear flipper for the deployment. I know several of you out there have this knife and absolutely love it, and that is something I agree with. We have a full titanium handle, couple of carbon fiber inlays on both sides. This full length backspacer made out of titanium is a huge deal. It makes this very comfortable. And then we have a titanium clip with no hardware. It looks really good. That is going to be right hand carry only. And we are looking at a standard liner lock here. We have a chamfer and jimping. Very easy to get to and disengage. The action on this is phenomenal, especially off the thumb disc. It is absolutely amazing. Acoustics are really nice. That front flipper is really well designed, fine jimping running all the way up to the top. You can get a ton of leverage on that big old blade, and the rear flipper works equally well. Similar to the Griffin, you have some of the frame actually cut away here and the rear flipper kind of recessed, so it kind of hides in there well, but you get a ton of leverage on it, and it's very easy to get to and flick the blade out. I love the multiple deployments. The Brata is an awesome size and one hell of a good looking knife. Next, we have one coming in from JackWolf Knives. This is the Tango, and there's a lot of these kind of hidden throughout different retailers and websites, and I found a couple on Blade HQ. If I can find any others, I'll have them linked down along with the one from Blade HQ. The versions will all be different as according to what's available, but there are Tangos out there, a very popular knife from JackWolf. These are going to be coming in at $350. We have this dual ground, beautiful satin finish S90V drop point blade. We have dual thumb studs and a front flipper for the deployment. This is going to come in just at 7 inches with 3 inches of blade, so a mid-sized knife, I would say. A full titanium handle here with carbon fiber for the onlays here. Beautiful looking knife. We have a milled tie clip, and that is going to be right hand carry only. Then we have a matching titanium backspacer. Really cool knife from JackWolf and venturing far away from what he typically does, and that is one reason why this knife is very popular. Now, a knife that has been insanely popular over the last couple of years in the budget realm of folding knives has been the CMBB Predator. They've done 3 different versions down in the budget range, and it is about time we have a premium CMBB Predator here, and they're going to be coming in at a fantastic price. They're about $175, maybe a touch more, and you're going to be looking at a full titanium handle and M390 blade. We are looking at dual thumb studs for the deployment here. We have a 7.9 inch overall frame here, and we have 3.4 inches of blade. So it is a good size. The layout of the handle is very comfortable. Great sharpening choil there, and instead of using the thumb studs, they actually have some real tabs in there, which is something I appreciate. I like these kind of tabs better than the studs. And then we have a milled tie clip that is going to be left-hand friendly, and we have a geared tie backspacer in there. Plenty of room to get this in and out of the pocket. The clip should have been just a little bit longer to give it a little bit more spring, but it does work in all the different things. I have tried it on here recently. I'm sure there are some things it would have trouble with just because of that spring, but all other notes on the Predator, I mean, this knife has been tested and vetted. It is a proven design. I have had several of the budget ones, and CMB is known to have really good heat treat, and they do a phenomenal job with the geometry of the blades, the edges out of the box. If you go back to the unboxing of this knife, it is insanely sharp right out of the box. They run their M390 60 to 62, so exactly where we want the baseline to be. You're going to get some very good performance for the dollar and have one hell of an EDC knife with the Predator V4. Now, some of these knives are being restocked, and some of them I just found and happened to find hiding on various retailers, kind of like the Tango. But then there are some that were sold out because of popularity and are actually back in stock now. And the Tac Knives Zipper here is going to fall in that category of sold out very quickly, a lot of them, and is now back in stock. The Tac Knives Zipper here comes in like 10 different flavors of color, and then they come in about $60, but I do have a 20% coupon code for their entire website, so that'll knock 20% off this bad boy right here, which will take it down to about, what, $48 or so, and this is going to be a really well-built out the front auto with a great switch, an aluminum body, a deep carry clip, and that is going to be left-hand friendly. I have carried and beat the hell out of this. This is one of the main knives we use here around the house for opening things and, just, a quick grab and cut. We use this all the time, and it just keeps on a trucking. I've never had a malfunction with the action. The switch works really well. It's something that can be easily used by almost anyone that, is older than 14 or so, or 18 if, you want to be that way about it. But very easy to use. You actuate the switch, cut open whatever it is you're doing, or break down whatever you're doing, and pull that blade back down. It's a nice profile. It does come with a blade, but I opted to throw in the black blade there. I think that looks quite a bit better, but it does come with an SK5 razor blade. We're looking at 3.4 inches on the handle length, and then about 1.85 for the blade here. So it's not a huge knife, but this would make a perfect fifth pocket utility backup type knife. Just something to get the job done if you don't want to beat up on your primary carry. Easily one of the first choices for me when it comes to having a knife that I can just kind of do anything I want to it and it's not going to harm it. I can take the blade out and throw a new one in, no problem. Break it, whatever, dull it, doesn't matter. I can flip it around and then ultimately change it as well. So very versatile and a very fun out the front auto from Tac Knives. So a lot of people thought this particular version of the Gio Athereal was sold out. I thought it was sold out as well, but I happened to find a couple, and I'll have them linked down below, and they're actually going to be coming in at the original price that they used to, which was $139.95. I did see a price jump on in some places up to like $180, $200, which that's a little too much considering they started around $140. I think actually a little lower for some versions. Now at $140, this is a hell of a deal right here. You're going to be looking at a heavy stonewash clip point blade in M390. They have a couple different finishes that you can choose from. We are looking at dual thumb studs for the deployment. Kubi is the OEM behind Gio, so you're going to be getting one hell of a product. The crossbar lock, it is very good, very snappy, nice strong springs, exactly what you would want. Nice little sharpening choil there. We have the textured titanium handles and a milled tie clip. This is a beautiful looking secondary or mid-sized knife in my opinion. And then we have a Damascus pivot collar there on both sides just to give it a little flair. And that actually really makes me feel like I'm getting my money's worth. At M390, titanium clip, really good crisp action, and you're going to give me some Damascus pivot collars on top. I really like this knife at the 140 price point. It is a hard bargain to beat. And just because I feel like it, just because it's my video, I want to put this knife in it. The ZT-0512. I absolutely love this knife to death, and it is still available. What's cool is, and why I'm actually putting it in the video, other than it's awesome, amazing, I love it, I carry it all the time, that's why it's beat up, but they put out 2 new versions of the 0512, and I would love to have all 3 of them myself, because this knife is going to have 3.5 inches of crew wear, has a beautiful dark bronze blade. We are looking at an out the side auto with incredibly good action. We have some USA made micarta and titanium for the show side. And then we have a titanium handle that's been bronzed to match the blade. We have their deep carry clip that is going to be surface mounted, and it is left hand friendly. I just love this knife so much. I have carried it a ton since they were released. That's why it's all mucked up and boogered up there, but it still works just as good, cuts just as good as when it was first opened up. I love Crewwear. It is top 3 favorite steels for me, and I hope ZT and Kershaw continue using it because there's not a lot of other companies out there using Crewwear. It is one of the best steels for a folding knife that you can get your hands on. I have no idea why it is not used more widely. It is a great size at 8 inches overall with almost 3.5 inches of blade. Price point for this ZT-0512, fully made in the USA, is going to come in at $320. Another knife that I have been shouting from the rooftops about is the new Tenable Fen Rear Top Liner Lock Edition. There is a bunch of different versions of this knife. Now, there's only so many available because a lot of them have sold out over the last couple of weeks, but they've also introduced new versions. So it is definitely worth going over to Tenable's website and seeing what they have left in stock. But the base versions are going to fall right around the $60 price point. They do have some that go up to $67, $68. I think I've seen them doing them in D2 now. They have Nitro V, they have Damascus. Like I said, they have a lot going on over there at Tenable, all kinds of different handle materials. So you have a wide price range from $60 up to like $90, depending on which one you're looking at. We have smooth aluminum handles here for this one and the VG10 Damascus. But the hot seller to this knife right here, because it is a Fen Rear first and foremost, but it is a button top liner lock, and that is something we have been waiting on for a long time. I'm hoping Concept picks this idea up and puts it out in a premium form. form, and then I'm hoping they put it out in a premium XL form. This comes with a standard deep carry clip made out of steel, and it is going to be left-hand friendly, even has an included lanyard hole. And here again, much like the Naga from earlier, you get all the fun and fidgetiness of a button style lock, but you're going to get a very robust locking system with this compression style lock. You have your lock and you have your stop pin in there. So anything up and down, this thing is going to be built like a brick shithouse. You shouldn't be doing anything side to side with your knife, because that would mean you are prying and, get the right tool for the job, unless you have no other option, of course. But for a folding knife, a folding locking knife, the Tenable Fen Rear, whether you like this particular one or not, that doesn't really matter. But the design itself and the lock itself just lends itself to being a really good knife. I'd love to see them scale this up in size and scale this version up into more premium materials. A knife that I have been carrying an absolute ton along with my 0512 there is the Vosteed Zeno. Now this isn't a restock, because this is actually a brand new release for Vosteed, and it is the very first time that Vosteed is going to be using VanX Super Clean with their knife lineup, and these are going to come in about $309. It is expected to have a little bit higher price with the VanX Super Clean. It is a more expensive steel to use, so it's going to cost more on the back end to put out to consumers, but it is a great steel. It is the ultimate corrosion resistant blade steel. It is tough. It has good edge retention. It's a great steel in my opinion. Easily worth a top 5, I think, in my opinion. They have a couple different versions of the Zeno here, and I think there's 4 different versions. This is the blue wash titanium handle version. We have a nice long titanium backspacer in there, making this very comfortable. Then we have a milled tie clip there with a little bit of flair to it, which I really like. Going to be right hand carry only. We do have a cutout for the deployment. Now, the cherry on top is the VanX, but also this is the Vanker lock here. So this is a pivot-based button lock here, and you can disengage that blade with the pivot. An awesome mechanism in there. There's videos out there to show you more of the internal workings of that lock, but just know it is a big, thick piece of steel that is going to be locking that blade up, along with a stop pin there. It is really robust, and I want to get my hands on more. I have a couple of them, tested all of them, and continued testing them, and they continue to hold up very well, but I want to see this exact lock on more models so we can really get an idea of how tough the lock itself actually is. But over the last year and a half since they introduced the Vanker lock, the button pivot base lock here, it has been very good for me personally. And you combine that lock with a nice layout, a utilitarian design, and put VanX Super Clean for the blade steel, you have yourself one hell of a knife. I know it's a little pricey, but like I said, the VanX is going to garner that higher price. Now, yes, I did just want a reason to show off my TRM Atom with the DLC blade, but there are a couple versions of the Atom actually in stock, not with the DLC blade, so just pump the brakes. They do have versions, though, with the Stonewash blade, and it's a USA-made knife from TRM. They're going to come in Magna Cut or 20 CV, depending on what batch you are looking at. They'll tell you which one it's going to be. I think more recently, though, they have gone over to Magna Cut. We are going to be looking at 3.5 inches of 20 CV on this particular one with that DLC coating. dual thumb studs for the deployment. This is going to be riding on washers. It took some time to break this in because of that DLC coating along with the washers, but it has gotten extremely smooth over the years. And these are going to come in about $265 to start off. That is a great price for a small boutique company like TRM producing these knives themselves. All products made in the USA and all done in the USA. So very cool from TRM. I think they have a lot more coming out the pipe here that we will see shortly. Deep carry clip made out of titanium. It's recessed and right hand carry only on this particular one. I don't know if they have adjusted that over the years or not. I don't think that they have with particular ones. Maybe some they have made left hand friendly scales or whatnot for them. I'm not entirely sure on that front. I think maybe some of their crossbar lock knives they did, but I could be wrong on that as well. Nonetheless, there are TRM knives in stock on Blade HQ from the Atom to the Neutron 2, and there's a couple other TRMs on Blade HQ's website that are available as well. You want to talk about thin, you want to talk about slicey, the TRM Atom is a representation of all that and done to a very high level. And then we have one more coming in. Now, up until recording this video, EMP EDC also had several Nimbles in stock, but I think they have since sold out since making this video. So I'm not sure on the Nimble side. Those might be gone. But what I know for a fact is still in stock is going to be the EMP EDC Relative. And it's probably my favorite design from John and EMP EDC. I mean, the Nimble always has a special place in my heart, but I love the Relative, which is a descendant from the Nimble, hence the Relative name. And these are going to come in at $300 even. They're going to come in Magna Cut. I think he's running the new batch in Magna Cut at 63 to 64 HRC. We are going to be looking at a Best Tech OEM. So you're going to get superb fit and finish. You're going to get a great product for the steel. The HRC is going to be done exactly how you want it to be, jimping up the entire spine. You have a cutout and front flipper for the deployment. The action is fantastic. And then he always has aftermarket goodies available like pocket clips, like you can see here. We have a cross-cut titanium handle here with a titanium backspacer. I love this knife so much that I even bought the ultra premium Relative, if you will, with Thor Damascus, and I put a beautiful clip on there. If you know what this clip is, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think this material is. I'm not going to tell you, but let me know what you think this is. It's not something you get to see every day. I have showed it before on the channel, but it is a pretty rare pocket clip material, not something you get to see all the time. So this is a very special knife in the collection with the carbon fiber show side. Now, this particular one is not in stock. That is a kind of Blade Show pickup there from a year ago. Nonetheless, there are Relatives in stock. Highly recommend going over to EMP EDC's website, seeing what they have. They have some knives in stock. They also have other EDC gear and gadgets that are available, like wallets and other things. I need to get my hands on one of the wallets as well. I also want a completely blacked out Nimble, which I was looking at, and like I said, I think they are gone. I'm sure they will be back. Now, the two Relatives in stock are going to be a completely raw finish with silver, titanium, and a belt satin blade, and then a dark handle like you see here with the gold accents, and then the same finish, the belt satin. It is a great knife. Not only is the handle layout perfect so you can get up right behind the edge, you can also come back and get a little more reach if you'd like. And then this blade is thin and slicey as all hell, and it's very pokey. It's easy to climb up on the tip if you need to do a little bit extra work. I've beat up on this one a little bit just because I have the full dress one there, but I've still maintained pretty good care on the original Magna Cut Relative. You'll have to let me know, what was your favorite knife from today's video? I always look forward to hearing from you. Like I said, I will have all these knives linked down below in the description. Hit that thumbs up button for me. I truly appreciate it. It helps push these videos out there to more people. If you want to continue to see daily knife and EDC content just like this, make sure you're subscribed here to the channel. I'd love to have you a part of the G-Ball Vision family. I'll pop up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.